Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be bringing you another JDM car review, and what we're particularly looking at today is a 1995 Toyota Hilux Surf, and specifically this one is the SSRX model, meaning that it's got the wider body, it's got the runners on the side, and as well as just like the extra accessories on the front, as you can see. And we'll make sure to go into more detail about that car. And what we'll do today is we'll go over the outside, the inside, and the overall driving experience. And for those that are familiar with the 4Runner lineage, this car will look very familiar to you. Besides the fact that it's a right-hand drive version of a Toyota 4Runner, that's where the similarities start to differ. As in the US, we actually got the gasoline-powered 4Runners, and this one in particular is actually a turbo diesel. And as you look on the outside of it, it looks like a 4Runner. I mean, if somebody was just going to be walking by, they would see, oh, you know, this looks like a classier 4Runner. But with that, you get a lot of different features that you wouldn't in a conventional 4Runner. And as we make our way back to the back seats, what's so interesting that I just find really fascinating about this is this comes with a factory air purifier, which I think is really innovative. And why don't we have this in most cars? In particular, is actually super clean, but it's just a nice touch that we get something as OEM as this air purifier that you don't typically get to see in the States. And the reason that I also wanted to pick starting in the back seats as well is just to demonstrate to you guys the ability of being able to fold down these seats so quickly. And when you fold these down and you take out the headrest itself, this lays flat. So in any car camping scenario, this car would be perfect for it. Yet it's not a complete camper van, but if you needed to spend the night out or you're thinking about car camping, this could be a really good option. And it's super comfortable, and I even had the chance to like lay down in the back, and I was surprised at how much leg room there is, even for somebody as like an average size human like me. And I may need to pull this up to the front because I did want to show you guys how the tire kind of swings out. So to operate this, if you ever wanted to do it, there's a little latch, or I don't know what you want to call this, plunger latch, that you pull back like so, and this will swing the tire out. And it gives you access to the trunk, which folds down, and this also rolls down as well. And you can almost treat it like a Land Rover, where this portion of the trunk will fold down and then this will go up, which is a nice touch. A lot of people are really fascinated just by the idea of being able to kind of sit on this like a bench, which is pretty cool. And as we make our way around the car, I did want to note that this Hilux actually does have a brand new set of Cooper Discovery AT3s. And for the people that are out there that are, you know, proficient in the tire world, you know that this is a very well known set of off-road tires, and it just really adds to the car as well, being able to have that off-road capability on hand. And as you know, with the gasoline powered Toyota engines, they're definitely known for their reliability, and I will say for the turbo diesels, it's basically the same story. These turbo diesels are known for going hundreds of thousands of miles with little to no issues. And this is the big selling point if you're in the market for a Hilux Surf instead of a 4Runner. So this is a 3-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine, also known as the 1KZ, or if you want to get really technical, it's the 1KZ-TE. And from a service standpoint, you already can see that it has the typical Toyota easiness of being able to work on this. For the most part, everything looks very manageable. If you're looking for long-term maintenance, you know, if you wanted to drive this car for a long period of time, it doesn't look too intimidating if you wanted to tackle this on your own. And what's great about the turbo diesels is you get a lot more torque than the gasoline engines. So you get a little bit more efficiency there. A lot more torque means a lot more towing capacity. So just something worth noting, you know, especially if you're going to be looking for this. A big part of the whole Hilux Surf craze right now, especially in the US, is the fact that you can get these now with the turbo diesel engines. But with that being said, let's hop in the driver's seat. So what you're gonna notice right off the bat is it has the runners, or side runners if you want to call them, so it makes it easy just to hop in. And with this car in particular, it does have a aftermarket steering wheel. It's pretty cool. I don't know why I was staring at this for quite some time, because it is a little bit smaller than you would expect for, you know, a larger vehicle like this. I almost feel like this would look amazing in like maybe like a CRX or a Miata or something like that, just due to the size. But once I took it around the block, it started to make a lot more sense, because it's very easy to make quick turns in this car, even though it is a little bit larger. And it does have electric settings for the suspension, so you do have the option to have it either in normal mode, or you can stiffen up the suspension if you need to. And on top of that, it does have a part-time four-wheel drive, and you also have a locking center differential. So this is going to be controlling that. You have your low, your neutral, and your highs. And this one is a automatic transmission with overdrive, and it's even got the little cool like trigger button. Almost feels like you're a pilot on an airplane or something like that. It's got the aftermarket stereos and things of that sort, so this unfortunately is not original, but it is a good upgrade to have, especially if you want like a nicer sounding stereo. And it's funny because this looks just like any other 4Runner that you'd get in the US for the most part. Like this dash configuration right here, I think is almost like spot on from what you'd get in a US car. And the funny thing about this too is you start to see the little JDM hints of, you know, you get the Japanese writing on the visor, you see some more Japanese writing on the door cards and stuff like that, and it kind of adds to the notoriety of the driving experience. But let's fire it up, see how she does. Oh, got the AC blowing already. It is pretty toasty today, so I forgot it has that too. Fires right up. It is a little bizarre. What? What do you want from me? It is a little bizarre, I will admit, that when you first hop into this and you have somebody talking to you in Japanese, for one, and two, that it's a turbo diesel. Like I've definitely had my share of driving 4Runners, and this is the first time that I've experienced the idling of a turbo diesel while feeling like I'm in a 4Runner. So it definitely is something to get used to. But let's take this thing on the road, take it for a quick spin. Get some AC going too. It's really hot today, or at least in this car it is. And with the smaller diameter steering wheel, it makes for really easy turning. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this in the very corner, but there's this tiny little mirror that I think is just so quirky and so cool. So when you're parking, you're able to see on the other side. Wow, this is actually really cool. I would not mind driving one of these. That's the deadly part of reviewing cars, is they start to grow on you, and then you'll start checking out Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist to see if you can find one. Yeah, but it goes up the hill quite nice. Car's still warming up, so I'm not gonna beat on it too hard. But it definitely feels a lot torquier. And it's impressive too, you know, for a 4-cylinder to be 3 liters, that's a pretty large displacement for a 4-cylinder. Usually when you start to get in the 3-4 liter categories is when you start to see engine configurations become like a V6 or V8 or inline 6 and things of that sort. So it's impressive, just the overall bore and stroke size for such a 4-cylinder. It's very unique. But again, it doesn't feel as gutless as a regular conventional gasoline 4-cylinder. It's definitely tons of torque. And the transmission feels great, shifting into everything. Really pleasant to drive, even though we are on knobbier tires. You really wouldn't feel that in any way when you're driving this car. It's very smooth. Yeah, this is a pleasant one. I would not mind driving this every day. This is a very wonderful car. It's the perfect size too, in my opinion. Nothing against like the camper vans or anything like that, but it could feel like a little bit of a burden or a little tedious when you're parking it. And I feel like with this, you can just hop in it and go, and it's very easy to manage and park and drive. Because at the end of the day, it's almost like a 4Runner. And there's a huge reason why there's such a cult-like following for the 4Runners. You know, it comes down to the build quality, the reliability. And even though this is a car from 1995, it feels good as new. The interior smells nice in here because we got the air purifier going. I don't know. It's something else, really. And you just get a little bit more notoriety, which is nice, especially if you're an enthusiast. I feel like this car is definitely going to be for somebody that's much more enthusiastic about the Toyota history, right? If you really wanted to just go out and you just wanted a 4Runner, of course you can go out and buy a 4Runner, but I think that there's more charm to just being in the JDM one. One, just being on the opposite side of the road, but two, just being able to really bask in the idea of just having a JDM car that is much harder to come by in the States versus just like anything that you'd see on the road. But overall, it's a really pleasant driving experience, and I wish that we had the opportunity to really take this out into the woods, and maybe we'll have to do that next time as I sit at a traffic light. But you know, let me know down in the comments down below what you think about this car. And you know what I'll do once this light turns green is we'll just putt around a little bit more, and then we'll take it back, and that'll be the video. But I'm really gracious to have the opportunity to drive this, and if you guys are looking for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe, and I'll be posting a lot more of these videos upcoming. Not just SUVs and camper vans, but I'm hoping to get some more enthusiast cars on there. But as the channel grows, anything helps, so it's always greatly appreciated.